Hello everyone, welcome to my April 2025 reset. Every time I do one of these and start and say the month and the year, I'm like, holy cow, I have been doing these now for like almost 3 years. Like, it's crazy, but I love these videos. They help me reset and remotivate myself at the beginning of every month, and so I hope they do the same for you all. Today's video, we are going to go through my typical reset formula, but if you haven't seen one of my videos before, I start off with a little bit of reflection of the previous month. We go over core memories, highs, lows, wins, and then we talk about goal setting, so reviewing the goals I set for March. What did I hit? What did I miss? What am I setting for April? And then I usually have a middle segment where I change it up. I actually think this video, I'm going to include my monthly budget with me. I normally keep them as separate videos, but being 100% honest with you guys, I couldn't think of a middle segment for this month because last month I talked about like my health and fitness journey, and I'm still going so hardcore with that. I like have nothing else I feel like on my mind. And then also I just don't have time before the end of the month or the beginning of the month to film a budget with me as well. So we're gonna compile it into one video. And then if you like the budget portion of this video, there's so many budget videos I've done in the past that you can go back and binge. And then I end my resets with a little content corner. So talking about the movies, TV shows I've watched, rating them, and then also all the books that I've read this month, which ones I'd recommend or don't. And so yeah, I'm really excited. Oh my gosh, sprucey. So first we're gonna start off with a little March reflection. Up here on the screen, I put my planner pages so you guys can see how I like to fill in my daily planner. This is the planner I designed and sell. We have lots of colors. This is the coffee color that's you guys are loving. This is definitely a best-selling color. I use this every month. At the start of the month, there's the pages to help you reflect and set goals, which is amazing. And then it's a daily planner after that. So gives you a sneak peek at what these pages look like. So I'll have the link in the description box as well. If you feel like you need a new planner, it's undated too, so you can start it any month, which is great. But okay, so core memories for March. Oh my gosh, I feel like I did so much traveling in March, which was I'm so grateful to say. I had a big work trip. I did a solo trip to Disneyland that was great, and I vlogged the whole thing, like staying in the hotel by myself, my day at Disneyland, what I ate, what I did, rides. I think it's such a fun vlog. It's like a 45-minute just vlog of fun, and I also like talk about solo traveling and like the highs and lows of that. And so if you want to watch that, it's up. Some people are saying it's their favorite vlog of mine, just gotta say. And so that was like such a core memory and something I'll probably never do again. So it was really great to experience that. And then I got to travel to Knoxville to see my family, and then down to Florida to see more family and to see TPC Players Championship, which is a big golf tournament there. And I originally wasn't gonna go on that trip just with work stuff, but I decided last minute that I was gonna go and join the rest of my family, and so I'm really glad I did. It's always so nice to spend time with loved ones and just relax a little bit and do fun things and be in the sunshine. I was in 65 and sunny degree weather for, I wanna say like 3/4 of the month. So I loved that. That really makes me so happy. Got a little tan, all the good stuff. And so I'm really glad I like prioritized my family in that time and went on that trip. I'm leaving this week, so I'm pre-filming this, but at the last weekend of March, I'm going to Florida with my friends for my roommate's bachelorette trip. We are so excited. We've been looking forward to this for so long. I haven't done like a girls beach trip in about a year, so I'm very, very excited. Back to Florida. Okay, this month's win. I said this in my March reset. I said in February, I was locked in, working on myself, working on my goals, working on my health and fitness, and March, I did the same. Like, despite traveling a lot, I did travel often. And so I feel like I had a good balance of when I was traveling, I was enjoying that, but also like when I was home or had a more consistent routine, like I have been locked in, and I've just been feeling so fulfilled and happy in like almost every area of my life, which is, I feel like very rare that happens. And so I've just like yesterday even, I was just feeling very grateful for my life, and it's taken a lot of work and decisions for me to get to this place. Like previous years, I put in a lot of work, made tough decisions to be able to get to a place where I feel content in all areas of my life, and I'm just glad. And I'm just trying to like recognize that and then enjoy it. Getting my 10,000 steps a day has been a consistent goal that I've hit. And then, yeah, just all my other life, like career goals and stuff, I've been consistently working on them. And with that, guys, I didn't have anything to fill in and to improve next month. I'm just proud of myself for doing everything this month and want to keep it up next month. Okay, you guys know my favorite part of this, the life balance scales, where you rate each area of your life out of 5. So the first one is work, which I'm giving myself a 5 out of 5. I went on that big work trip. I feel like I've accomplished a lot in my part-time job, running the TikTok for that startup. And then also I'm making some moves this month to hopefully do some more things for Dream Daily. I know Dream Daily has been on the back burner these first 3 months of the year. But this month I feel like I'm starting to put things in place to help me get back and have not even just the motivation, but the time to put into Dream Daily that it requires. I just didn't want to like have to anything. And so I'm really trying to figure out what needs to be done there. Wellness, 5 out of 5. Like I said, been doing really good. Social, I'm going to give myself a 3. Finances, pretty average month, so I'm going to give myself a 3. And then for hobbies, I'm giving myself a 5, just because I've been able to do so much. Like I would say Disney is like a hobby for me. Like I love planning the trips, I love going, and so going on that trip, huge hobby. Like biking and stuff at the beach, like doing things like that, just little ways to incorporate my hobbies into my life. So that was my March reflection. Now let's go into the goals that I set for myself for March and which ones I accomplished versus didn't accomplish. So the big goals that I set for this month were to finish my real estate course. With the 2 weeks of traveling, I was not able to do that, but that's okay. We're gonna move this goal to April. Again, once this all comes and happens and I get my license and stuff, I'll make a video talking about this decision. But for right now, I'm just telling you guys what I'm currently working on. I wanted to get 10,000 steps a day and 100 grams plus protein a day, which I would say on average I have. Obviously some days maybe I'd get a little bit less than 10,000 steps or I wouldn't hit the protein goal, but overall, probably like 20 out of the 31 days of the month, I was hitting those goals. So I'm gonna give that a check. And then my last one for the quarter, this was a quarterly goal actually, was to have paid off $2,500 in debt. I made an extra debt payment this past month towards my car to hit that goal. So over the past 3 months, I have paid off $2,500 in debt and it feels really good. We're just continuing to pay off my car and a little bit of student loans. So mini goals were to hit 15,000 followers on TikTok, on my personal TikTok. That did not happen. We're still like 5,000 followers away. So if any of you want to go follow there, you can help me. I promise I've been trying to really put great content on there. I've been sharing a lot about like my health and wellness journey, but also like travel, lifestyle, all that fun stuff. Submit taxes. I did. I'm so happy about that. Read 4 books. I just listed out the books that I read this month, but I can't remember if it was 3 or 4. I think it was only 3. But if it was 4, I'll do a check. Overall, did pretty well on my goals. And it, again, how I use goal setting is not to like beat myself up if I didn't accomplish something. It's more of like, okay, here's what I want to focus on and prioritize this month. And so making sure I make time to prioritize these things. And then if something doesn't get done, I move it to the next month. Like it's okay. We're going to keep working on it. So now let's talk about the goals that I'm setting for April. What I do as well is I think about the month as a whole, and I think about like, okay, what trips do I have? What big work projects or work things do I have this month? And then where do I want to excel in my personal life? Or is there just something on the list that I've been meaning to do for months and just have put off, like planning a different trip is on that list, which I'll talk about. So I kind of think about the overarching and take goals from the previous month that I didn't hit, and that's how I set new goals each month. Okay, so my first one, again, finish real estate course and take the test. Needs to all happen this month. It's gonna be a lot, but I'm planning on doing it. I'm telling myself I can do it. I'm just gonna put down, keep up my 10,000 steps a day and my 100 plus grams of protein a day. I've loved how that's made me feel. I feel really great during the day, way less tired, way less lethargic. I don't really have those afternoon slumps and I'm loving it. So I'm gonna keep that up. I wanna continue posting 3 times a week, at least on all my short form channels. So TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. And then for my mini goals, I have kept this up since January. So again, I'm just so proud of myself this year for like sticking to my goals and doing what I said I was gonna do. It was one of my goals in January to start having 5:30 mornings, not every morning, but like a few times a week. And now I can consistently say I get up at 5:30 2 to 3 times a week to work on my real estate course or to hit the gym earlier or something like that, working on my goals. And I've consistently done that. And now getting up at 5:30, I don't do it every day, but it has gotten easier, and I think it's a good balance between like 5:30 some days, 6:30 or 6 other days. Yeah, it's like a good range for me. I want to keep up with my reading, so read 4 books this month. I want to play golf. I haven't played golf yet this year, and that is one of the hobbies that I really want to focus on in 2025. It's on my vision board, so I want to play some golf this month, which I think isn't too impossible because the weather's finally like consistently nice here in Tennessee, which just makes everyone so happy. And then the last one is my family wants to take a London trip this year, and I want to help plan that or do most of the planning, so need to get that done and planned. So then if you guys follow along, we have our project goals and our habit goals. This is the goal setting system I have used for years. I teach it every January. You can go check out that video on my channel, like my goal reset. But basically I divide the big and mini goals into projects and habits. So like a project goal is my real estate course, posting short form content and planning that London trip. Habits would be like getting my 10,000 steps in, eating protein daily, and reading. So that's like how I break up my goals to then be manageable day to day. I would love to hear a goal that you guys are working on for April, so please comment that in the comments and we can like chat all things goal setting. And I hope that was like a little bit motivating, sharing my life, what I'm working on. Now let's get into the monthly budget with me. I may make myself a little drink like a matcha or a coffee or something, and then we will get into the monthly budget with me. Spots for my budget with me. I just needed a little change. And if you normally don't watch the budget with me's and you're curious as to how much I spent in a month living in Nashville, all of that, and traveling so much this month, here is a deep dive into it all. I love to share it all. So this budgeting spreadsheet I use is from Etsy. I will link it below. It's very simple. And I've used it for like 2 years now. So really great. It's like $5 too. So what I use to track my spending is my credit card. So I have business credit cards and personal. I use the Chase Sapphire Preferred as my personal credit card. I love it. It's how I get a lot of my travel paid for, hotel, flights, all because I put everything I spend on a credit card. Of course, I pay off every credit card each month, but I get points for everything that I'm buying and spending on. And also my Chase app tracks my spending for me. So I don't use the Chase budgeting feature. I just use the spending summaries, and it tells me like how much I spent in each category. I go through there, categorize transactions that maybe they did wrong, and then I put it into this spreadsheet so I can see everything, full picture, from rent to income to all of that. In March, let's start with gas expense. I expected to spend $50. I've only filled up one sish. I'm taking a road trip with friends down to Florida, obviously this weekend, so I think this is going to increase. I'm going to increase it by $50 and say I've actually spent $71. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of that. Lyft and Uber, I thankfully had one of my big Ubers paid for by work, so I only had to pay for one Uber out in California, which was $80 when I budgeted $100, so a little bit under there. Coffee, I bought a lot of coffee out. Just again, traveling, at Disney, at wherever, eating out, I overspent as well. But that's okay, because again, I underspent in some other categories to where like overspending in others works out. And sometimes you just don't know like how much a month is going to cost when you have so many variables. Like when I'm just home in Nashville in my apartment, I can know my routine. I know how much I spend on groceries or how much I spend in a weekend. But when I'm traveling and I'm gone for most of the weeks, it's hard to manage and to budget for that. Coffee, I budgeted $50 and spent $74. And then eating out, I budgeted $300, which is more than I usually budget. And I spent $512. Again, we went to Earth Cafe. We went to a lot of Disneyland. I ate out for every meal, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, $500. Because I was home less, I spent less on groceries. So I budgeted for $200 and spent $206, right on the money there. Entertainment, I had budgeted $50. I put $0. I mean, you could count a lot of my travel expenses as entertainment, which you'll see down here in my travel section. So just because it looks like I didn't do anything fun, like Disney park ticket, hotel, all of that, which again, it's down here in travel. Beauty, I got my eyebrows done, which was $20. Shopping/personal, I budgeted $250. I only spent $150, which was better than February. If you guys watched my last budget with me, I did a lot of shopping early in the year for the trips that I had this month. And so now I'm like, okay, I got all the things I needed for the trips. Let me bring this down a little bit. For gifts, I bought I think this was a wedding gift, or unless I bought that, I don't know, there was some gift that I needed to buy that was $50. Spruce, I spent $125, and then travel, I budgeted $500 and ended up spending $615. What I'm doing in the future now for traveling, if you guys haven't watched any of my money videos, what I'm trying to do is I have a high yield savings account now where I am putting money monthly into a travel fund so that my trips later in the year, I'm already paying towards that. I think I put like $150 in there a month so that if I want to take a trip in September or October or something, I can just pull from that travel fund that's growing over the year instead of like pulling it out of my checking that month. I had to get my car oil changed. And then of course they tell you like a few other things I needed to get done. And since I was traveling with a bunch of girls in my car, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pay to get a bunch of things done that you say I need to get done. So I'm trusting you guys. And so that total was about $219. Then I have my bills here. So my internet, my rent, my pet insurance, electricity, water, ClassPass, Apple, Spotify. ClassPass, I had a gift card, so I was able to not pay for that this month, which was great. And then I have my debt payoff, which I actually paid a little bit more this month, like I said, to hit that goal. I paid off $1,000 on my car, which is crazy, guys. It's crazy that I paid off that much in 1 month. Very thankful to be able to do that. And then I still need to move my taxes over, but I also have paid that tithe. So we are good there. Okay, moving over to April. I always copy and paste the same spreadsheet over and keep so that I can make sure I'm keeping my budget similar, but I will adjust as needed. So at the beginning of the month, I think about, okay, what do I have coming up? Is any trips, any birthdays, any big nights out, and all of that. So gas, I'm gonna keep at 50. I don't think I'm personally driving that much. Lyft and Uber, I'm going to do 50, bring that down because I'm not doing as many airport drives. Coffee, I think is good at 50. Eating out, I'm gonna keep at 300. Groceries though, I have been prioritizing my health, as you've heard this whole video, which means I have been spending way more on groceries and cooking a lot more at home. So actually, we're moving eating out down to 250. I've been eating out way less, eating at home more, and groceries I'm gonna raise to 350 because all of this little health food stuff gets expensive. Entertainment, I am going to keep at 50. Beauty, 20. That sounds good. Shopping/personal. I may want to get Newly this month or something. So for Easter, I have a little Easter trip with my family. So I think that'll be good. Gifts. Oh, it's my mom's birthday. So we'll budget in 100. I don't know what I'm getting her yet, but get her a gift. Pet spruce stuff I think is good at 100. Travel's going to go way down because I'm not traveling as much. I am going to Charleston real quick and then to North Carolina with my family. I've already got my flights and I'm staying with friends or family, so I don't have to pay for lodging. So I'm gonna move this to 150 just in case there's anything else I need to grab, but that should be mostly paid for. And then I'm just gonna do a $50 other budget, which takes us to a total of $1,470 for just the variable expenses of life, I call them, the things that change month to month. And I think that's pretty good. Let's see what March's was, how much I actually spent in March. I didn't do a total. Oh, it's a gut punch. I had like $2,000 in variable expenses when I normally try to have like around $1,500. So I knew it was gonna be a more expensive month, and it was even more expensive than I imagined. But like I said, it's good to track this stuff. It's good to know because then in April I can make adjustments. And like I said, March I knew was just going to be one of those months, and I had a great month. So it's okay. We can always improve later on. So that's kind of how I do my budgeting. It's, as you can see, it's a lot of like talking myself through stuff, coming up with numbers that I think feel good, but also are good for my budget. And that's how I do it. All right, welcome back. We now have our content corner where I talk about all the content that I watched in the previous month or read and my ratings and review. All right, I don't think I watched any new movies in March. It just really wasn't like a movie kind of month for me, but I did get some books read, so that's exciting. And then shows, one that I'm currently watching that's not done yet, so I'm not gonna give my full review, but I am watching this season 48 of Survivor. I love Survivor. It takes a while, I feel like, for Survivor to really get into it. Like, it's really not until the merge that it gets really good and like you understand the players and the dynamics. And so it's fun to watch, but I feel like it takes a few weeks to really get into it. But if you're watching, let me know. Ashley and I started Love is Blind and just, I heard bad things. I heard it wasn't good. So I watched a few episodes and then went on my trips. And so we didn't get to watch anymore. And so I didn't get to finish that. And I don't think I will. So nothing there. Also didn't finish watching The Bachelor this season. Just, yeah, the dating shows, sometimes they hit and then other times I like couldn't care less. Like, I really don't care. But a show that I did watch all the way through and loved is Running Point on Netflix. This is a Mindy Kaling production and it has Kate Hudson. First off, I was so impressed with Kate Hudson. Like, I forgot how good of an actress she is and she looked amazing. Like, I need her in more stuff and some movies soon. Overall, I give Running Point 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a really cute, easy to watch show. I watched it within like a week. Yeah, pretty much within a week I watched the show. Very easy to digest. It's kind of like a Ted Lasso, but for basketball. I don't think it's as good as Ted Lasso. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like if you mixed Ted Lasso with a show like The Mindy Project, which I love The Mindy Project and it makes sense since, again, Mindy Kaling. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's a little bit, I feel like, more girly than Ted Lasso, and that's okay. I loved it, but not as much as Ted Lasso. So giving it 4 stars. Really enjoyed. And then moving on to books. So I've only finished 3 books, but I'm sure I will finish a 4th by the end of the month, but I just haven't had that yet. So the first book that I've read this month, I read on Kindle Unlimited, is called A Dream So Wicked. I read other books in this series, most of the other books in this series last year. The series is called Entangled with Fae. And basically I grabbed this one because all the books in this series are a Disney princess retelling in like a different Fae mythical land. So the basics of the fairy tales are still there. Like, this one was Aurora Sleeping Beauty themed, which worked because I wanted to read this while I was going to Disneyland. It worked out perfectly. And so like, the main themes of the fairy tale are there, but like the actual characters, their powers, the plot is completely different. So don't think it's going to be like an exact retelling. It just kind of uses the idea of that fairy tale. And so this was perfect to read, like I said, on the plane. And while I was like waiting in lines at Disneyland, I was reading this, and at night. This one was probably one of my favorites in this series. I was hooked. I'm giving it 4 stars. I was really hooked there. I thought, and I feel like there was a plot twist. I can't remember exactly. I have such a bad time remembering book plot lines once I finish them, but I swear there was a plot twist that like I wasn't expecting. Really enjoyed that. If you like Disney stories and fantasy and fae, then you'll probably like this, and all of them are on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so the next book that I read is called Just for the Summer. This is by Abby Jimenez, maybe? And I think this is my first book I read from her. Guys, I'm giving it 5 stars, which is really hard for me to give a contemporary romance 5 stars. And I recommended this to my roommate Ashley to bring with her on her bachelorette trip. This contemporary romance was very unique in the sense that I feel like it had a lot of depth to the story. It actually had me tearing up at one point, which I rarely cry in books, let alone a contemporary romance. Like, probably never. And there was just something that hit me in here. Like, when you read the back of this book, it just sounds like a very cute storyline. It says, the guy has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. And then the female character comes in and she has the same problems. So they're like, oh, we should date each other because then when we break up, we will find the loves of our lives. You can see where this is going. But let me just say, like, it is such a sweet book, and there's a lot of themes in there. There's a lot of mental health themes as well. Talks about, just some deeper topics that I normally am like, okay, in a beachy type read, I don't know if I want to read about that, but they're handled so well and light still and enjoyable to read, like, in a sense, because the characters are working through these things. I just really love this book. And it was so funny. I was actually laughing out loud, like giggling when I was reading their like text messages in the book, which again, I don't do that kind of stuff. Like, I am so straight faced when I read even like the cutest scenes. Like, I do not laugh out loud at books. And this one had me giggling. It was so cute. The banter, 10 out of 10. if you're looking for a rom-com book to get you out of a reading slump, pick up this. And this is actually the third in her Part of Your World series. So I think I'm gonna read Part of Your World and her other one next. Maybe I'll read Part of Your World on the beach trip. So yeah, I'm so excited to have a new romance author that I'm interested in. Okay, and then the last book that I read in the series I'm currently reading that I think is so funny is the Selection series. So probably a lot of you have read these in middle school. I feel like every girl has read them. This is the second book, The Elite, that I'm currently reading, but I finished the Selection. I rate it 4 stars, super easy read. I read it in like 2 days while I was traveling. It's like The Bachelor meets Princess edition. And I like how it is dystopian. Like they are living in a future United States, and it talks about like World War III, World War IV. And it's like that part of it is really interesting. And I think that's going to be developed a lot more in the other books. But I'm almost done, as you can see, with the second book, which I don't know what I'm going to rate this. I'm enjoying the second book less, but I'm going to read the series because it's so easy to read. It's YA. I picked up the whole series at McKay's for like discounts books, and so now I have the whole series pretty much in hardback, and so I'm excited to go on this journey that like every girl went through in middle school, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. All right, and that brings us to the end of my April reset. I was really excited for March, and March showed up, showed out. It was great. I'm gonna have high hopes for April as well. I really enjoyed sharing my journey with you, creating content, sharing these resets in hopes that they can also inspire you guys to have an amazing month and set yourself up for success. So yeah, let me know your favorite part of these, how you're doing, your goal for April, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.